Welcome back, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Good evening. And let's dive into it. I hope everybody's having a good week so far. The markets are very volatile this week, up and down. We saw that today as well. We had the stock market jump up this morning and then, completely give away by the end of the day. So let's get into some of the headlines. We have today, let's talk about Amazon. We have Amazon and UPS cutting jobs. We have the interest rate at a 12-month low. That's today compared to what it was last year. And then let's talk about what AI is going and how is it changing in real estate, because one of the main reasons Amazon's cutting jobs right now is because of AI and UPS along with other businesses. So let's dive right into it. One of the biggest headlines was that Amazon and UPS, Amazon's cutting up to 30,000 jobs and UPS is cutting up to 15,000 jobs. Now, it's important to understand that these are not the entry-level position jobs like, the minimum wage, factory worker type jobs. They're cutting middle management. And that's because of AI and software. It's enabling them to replace people that are like, team leads, anywhere where they're not upper management and they're more like managers of teams, and they can be replaced by software that can just operate 24/7 rather than a human, and it'll have less margin of error. So let me share something with you guys over here. And right here, exclusive, Amazon targets as many 30,000 corporate job cuts. Let's check this out.
Planning its biggest job cuts since 2022. It's aiming to axe as many as 30,000 corporate positions starting Tuesday. According to three people familiar with the matter, the e-commerce giant is paring back expenses and compensating for overhiring during the peak demand of the pandemic. The figure is roughly 10% of Amazon's corporate employees. Cuts beginning this week may affect teams such as human resources, operations, and Amazon Web Services. Amazon CEO Andy Jassy said in June artificial intelligence tools would likely lead to more job cuts, automating repetitive and routine tasks. Earlier this year, he installed an anonymous complaint line for identifying inefficiencies. Sources say Amazon's 5-day back-to-office policy among techs was stringent has failed to generate enough attrition. The sources cite that as another reason for the size of the layoff. Some of the employees who are not swiping in daily because they live far from corporate offices or for other reasons are being told they have voluntarily quit Amazon and must leave without severance, a saving for the company. Meanwhile, Amazon appears to be expecting another big holiday selling season. It plans to offer 250,000 seasonal jobs to help staff warehouses and other needs, the same as in the past 2 years.
Okay, so Amazon is actually hiring up to 250,000 warehouse positions. So like you heard in the video, they're cutting middle management jobs where it's repetitiveness, meaning it could be where they're just updating files or checking on employees, making sure they punched in, punched out, and all these little tedious tasks that they were paying someone to do, whether it was remote or in person. They're actually going to be replacing them with just software, basically, at the end of the day, and AI that can continuously also give a feedback loop to upper management on how they can improve the efficiency of the business. And Amazon's already said that we want to operate as the world's largest startup, meaning they want to have a nimble mindset. And they actually, posted that on their website. Here's the update from their official website. They said, staying nimble and continuing to strengthen our organizations. And this was given by their people experience and technology at Amazon, Senior Vice President Beth Galletti. And she notes over here, I want to let you know that we're making organizational changes across Amazon that will impact some of our teammates. There will be communications from leaders to those teams and individuals today, but we also wanted to share the broader context, what is happening. So I put a link in my description regarding this article. You can go through this article. It's very short. It's like a 5-minute read, but she's basically saying they want to operate as a big startup company. They want to get rid of efficiencies because everybody's purchasing Amazon 24/7. It's not like Amazon is just a 9-to-5 business. So they need their business to also operate like in the back end, their softwares and their stacks and their employees need to be fully staffed 24/7. And it's impossible to do, obviously, with humans, and errors will happen. So what can happen with software and AI kicking in is that Now, one software can replace 10 middle management positions, and it can do all of that simultaneously with least amount of error. And as errors happen, you can just tweak the software so it doesn't happen again. And then based off of this news, the Amazon stock actually just jumped because of the efficiency. Investors always love efficiency and savings, so the stock went up. And same with UPS. UPS is also cutting, but they're hiring for the holiday season. However, they are cutting middle management positions. And these positions, they're roughly anywhere between, I would say, 80 to 120,000 salaries. And they're going to be let go of. So it does accumulate to a lot of money. But I understand the reason, and this is not just them. This is going to be across the board. You're going to see, Meta, Google, you name it, every company, whether it's tech or not, down to law firms, real estate agencies, that are going to cut these middle management positions because they're just not needed anymore. And within the next 12 months, 24 months, these positions are going to be history because they're just going to be replaced by AI and smart software. That's all it is. And based off of that, biggest concern for the Fed right now is also unemployment, and that unemployment is going up. And they do take in consideration for the unemployment with the rate cuts, how they're going to be doing rate cuts in the future. But right now we have a rate cut coming in tomorrow. Fed is supposed to announce that at 2 p.m. Eastern time. Let's take a look at over here, the 10-year yield today. We're at 12 months low, so we're at 3.98, right below 4%. As we projected, we said, after the first rate cut that just previously happened in September, that we weren't going to see immediate relief. It was going to be a few weeks after, which we did. So starting last week into this week, we've seen a little bit of relief. The spread's coming down, and we are seeing the 30-year fixed mortgage rate today at 6.13%. You can see that right here. And then you have the 15-year at 5.72, and you have the 30-year FHA at 5.89. And about a year ago, we were right around, during this week of last year, we were right around 7%, give or take, in 2024. So let me see if I can pull that up over here. Right there, 7.02% within, give or take, within the same week last year. So we are at lows right now, which is great. This is going to just continue. So we might see a little bit of a spike because it is fighting that 10-year yield is fighting that 4%. It wants to break it down. And I think tomorrow's rate cut, we should start seeing the spreads on the mortgage rates. We should start seeing the interest rates starting to slowly trickle down. And I think we're going to end this year right around the high fives, and 6% to high five. So 5.75, 5.85, that's where we're going to see this year end, because they are estimated to have another rate cut come December. So, and with all these rate cuts, they're trying to control inflation, bring it down. And here's a CNBC interview that recently they did, and they talk about, and they're discussing how interest rates are going to be affecting the unemployment.
And a former candidate, the list has been narrowed. Oh, no. Has been narrowed. Former candidate for the job of Fed chairman. Welcome. Good to be here. It's good to have you on a day where there's a lot of Fed stuff to kick around. So I'll start by being just a little bit tongue-in-cheek, which I never do. But so 3% inflation in a job market that's not slowing. We talked about that. 3 more cuts from the Fed survey. You think we should have cuts from the last time we were on? Explain why. It has to do with we can keep inflation low. We might as well put the pedal to the metal and grow, right?
I think we've got a lot of excellent policies outside of monetary
That's
policy
what
that are giving us the tailwind.
Let's do it.
And the question is there an inflation anchoring problem with expectations? No, there's not. But more importantly, going back to kind of Steve's survey, we revised away almost 1.5 million jobs over the last 18 months between the 2024 revisions and the beginning 2025 revisions. The Fed was flying blind, really flying blind for many, many meetings. And now all of a sudden we come and we realize we created all that growth with a lot less jobs. We had a lot more productivity. And I think it's important, that we're sort of having this discussion, Steve, that
So you see what they're saying there. They're saying more jobs are created, more productivity was done with less jobs, and that's basically AI kicking in, and you just have productivity growing over and over. Where even down to tech companies, I mean, they're also laying off engineers and software engineers and AI engineers are actually being hired because you can get rid of an entire team and replace them with one or two AI engineers and just continue to grow your company.
You brought up, which is the data's not coming out, we don't know. But the Fed was really making a lot of these decisions with really bad data compared to what the reality was, which is we were getting 100.
And that's actually true. So the Fed kept. So that's actually true. Fed kept making decisions on old data. So they weren't using even today, they don't use up-to-date data, what's available today, whether that's in the real estate market or consumer price index or anything. They use old data to make decisions going into the future instead of up-to-date of today. So they'll take data from a year ago, 2 years ago, and make decisions on what's going to happen in the future now, which doesn't make any sense to me.
50,000 job reports every Friday in the first month, and it turned out they were only about 50,000 running for, but a lot less. Bottom line, a lot less.
So I left the link below in the description for this as well. If you want to watch this video, you can. And they kind of go over about the job data and how jobs are going to continue to decrease, which in a way should help the control the inflation, and which will just give us more rate cuts. So we got a rate cut coming up in December, then again in January, March, and April. All of them so far look to be quarter-point cuts, nothing more than that. So slowly but surely, the rates are going to start to come down. And I'm projecting, again, this year to be around 5.75 to 6% range. So anybody telling you we're going to hit 5% or 4% this year, it's most likely not going to happen. However, next year, by the end of next year, I'm projecting our rates to be around 5%. So, and mostly it's probably going to be after mid-year. So you have the current Fed chairman, Powell, his term ends in May 2026. Then Trump will go in, he'll, announce someone else to take over that position. And whoever takes over that position is going to cut aggressively. So they'll start cutting those rates down aggressively, and we'll start seeing those mortgage rates drop significantly down to the high 4s, low 5s by the end of next year. And that's my prediction for the interest rates. So if you are in the market and you're looking for a house, this honestly is a great time, because we've known that 6% is like the magic number that gets everybody back interested into the housing market. So if we see below 6, we're about to have a very, very busy winter going into next year, and we're going to see a massive boom in the real estate market next year. There's a lot of people sitting on the sideline. You have savings accounts are sitting at about $7 trillion right now in total across the nation. So people have to put their money to use somewhere, and they're just waiting to see when opportunities come on the market. So if you're looking to buy, this is a very good time for you to start exploring your options and start getting pre-approved. Let's also talk about in real estate. So in real estate news, however, we have AI. Like I said, it's affecting job market right now, but AI is also going to be transforming real estate. And how it's going to transform it is that it's going to empower the consumer. That's my opinion. So quickly, the way I think about this is that AI is not going to replace like the real estate agent or the real estate broker. I mean, however, it will reduce a significant amount of labor force in the real estate market, but it will definitely power the consumer with information, proper information, and guide them towards a good decision, help them fill in the blanks on certain questions that they have in real time. So it won't be lagging data from like 3 months ago, a year ago that you're searching up because you wanted some information. You can get real-time data at your fingertips immediately. So it'll definitely help the consumer. And on the other end, us as professionals, it's going to help us make better decisions, collect better data, have it all available so we can present it. Because it's all over. So right now, AI just gives you data and it's all over the place. So our job is to make sure we can take it, organize it, and present it to our clients in a way that they understand and they're not confused and then they end up making the right decision. So I think for pros, AI is going to be a significant tool to help them. And the people that learn to use that tool are the ones that will stay in business. And the consumers that learn to use the tool will ultimately get the best reward or the best outcome out of AI. So that's what we have for today. I hope you guys have a great week. I'll see you probably again. I'll do another live at the end of the week, and we'll discuss how the rate cut tomorrow, how it turns out, and if we see any downturn in the mortgage rates. So we'll pick back up maybe this Thursday, Friday, and we'll get an update on all of this stuff. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you on the next one.